Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here for the virtual coffee break. Here's my coffee. Grab your beverage and let's chat for just a few minutes, shall we? So here's what's on my mind today. I had an interesting conversation with a person about email newsletters and thank yous and things like that. And we were just talking a little bit about the confusion that was had around what to offer and what to offer when. This person had offered free sessions of the service that she provides to a certain group of people, and only one of the people that ended up getting the free sessions took her up on the deal. So it really didn't bring people into her practice like she had hoped it would. And then she also was wondering about what she should offer as a thank you for people joining the newsletter. Well, it felt like to me that she was getting really complicated with the whole thing. And so there were a couple of things that I asked. One of them is, what is it that you want people to buy from you? What is it that you want people to purchase? And what she really wants to sell are these sessions that she offered, and yet she was giving away the first four sessions for free. And ultimately, that didn't turn into ongoing paying clients. And so we talked a little bit about how the customer relationship looks at each stage. And we talked a little bit about how the newsletter can be approached differently, so that it's not something that you would have to have an extra layer of thank you for people joining, but it'd be worth joining just to have it. So what we ended up talking about was this idea of the newsletter itself. I told her to stop calling it a newsletter. I told her to call it a publication or a magazine or something else besides a newsletter. And the reason for that is because people have certain expectations around what a newsletter is supposed to look like. And people have certain behaviors that are kind of habitual at this point when they see a newsletter pop up in an email inbox. And so we talked a little bit about how she could tighten up what she was offering through the email publication and really deliver value there, so that the content of the publication was the value, and she didn't have to offer a thank you for people to join her email list. Now, she already had done a lead magnet. The lead magnet was something that people got as soon as they joined her email list. So I just said, I think one of the things that's happening here is that you've got too many levels of free before you have people pay. And so what we looked at is finding ways to get people into the paid services sooner than what she had been doing. Because when all was said and done, she had a free lead magnet. She had 4 free sessions that she was offering for people. I can't remember the context of that. She offered a free thank you for joining the email list after the fact, after the lead magnet and all of that. And none of this was leading to the place where people were actually paying for her service. Now, the interesting thing that we found was that the area where she was able to get people who were interested in her services and they were willing to pay right off the bat was from referrals. The people who had referred people to her business and to her practice, they were happy to get the services, and they were happy to pay for them. So one of the things we looked at was, well, how can you get people? How can you use your publication to get people to that point where they're ready and willing to pay for a service? What has to happen? And so what we ended up talking about was that she was offering way too many freebies, and they weren't leading to a paid exchange. So what we ended up doing was eliminating two of the three freebies, having one freebie for joining the mailing list, and then using the email publication to prepare people for the paid engagements, for the paid, services. And what that ended up looking like was the publication. I suggested that there be something there that was kind of a value that would make people want to open it, that would make people want to keep it, that would make people want to share it. And so one of the things that we looked at was tying that into people's stories of what happened as a result of their using her services. The testimonials were a pretty good place to start. We also talked about how can you present like a little bit of what you do without giving away the whole story. So you could talk a little bit about maybe what the first step is in the process, but then talk about, if you want to learn the rest of this process and experience it for yourself, sign up for a session here at this email address or at this form. So when all was said and done, we came up with a 3-stage process for her to take people from the stage of just getting to meet her to the point where they were ready to pay her for a service. Much more streamlined, and we're going to test it out and see how it works. But I have a feeling that it's going to work better than having 4 freebies before there's even an offer for a paid service. Now, the other thing that we looked at was the price of her first paid service. And we were wondering if there might be an intermediate step in terms of a medium-priced offer. And we ended up not going with that because she's able to really establish the value of what she does in the publication and in her social media and in all of the places that you would see her sharing information. So we just talked about, use that material to get people ready to pay for your services at the full price and, from the very beginning. I'll be interested to see how this unfolds, but I think one of the things that's happened with the online world is that we have gotten used to giving a lot away. Now, I know that I do it. I give a lot of things away to people. I give away the microphone placement sessions. I give away one free coaching session, the Best Next Step call for people who are, just feeling stuck and they don't want to, they don't want to enroll in some multi-$1,000 program. They just need to have help seeing beyond the stuck place where they are. Well, the free Best Next Step call is exactly for a person in that position. Now, one of the things that happens in the Best Next Step call is that people experience, the ability of coaching to help them get further along toward where they want to go. And when they experience that, very often the response is, well, how do we continue to work together? What does it look like for us to continue doing this? And at that point, I've got the ability to say, well, you've got a couple of options, and here's what they are. So I'm not opposed to freebies. I'm just saying that maybe not having 6 freebies in a row before somebody decides to pay for something might be worth considering, right? So those are my thoughts for the day. I think when we're trying to put things in front of people that we would like them to purchase, well, I think a freebie, too many freebies can just be friction and not leading to that place at all. So maybe worth reconsidering if you've got a lot of freebies on the line. If you'd like to talk about it, just schedule a call, bit.ly/bestnextstepcall, and we'll talk through and figure out what your best next step is. Probably you'll be surprised at what can happen in an hour. That's all I got to say about that tonight. I hope that you're having a wonderful whatever it is where you are. Thank you, as always, for your time and your attention. And I'll be back tomorrow with another coffee break. So long.